Peace and blessings, and welcome to another edition of the How Now podcast, where we talk about how to live in the now. I am your host, Kim Martin Raymond, and I'm a minister. I am a spiritual life coach. I am an author, and I'm also the founder of Redefining You LLC, where I help my clients to realign themselves, mind, body, and spirit. I'm excited about tonight's show because we're going to be talking about traveling in the now. And I have a very special guest, someone who is very dear to my heart, my sister girlfriend. And as is customary in our How Now podcast, I'm going to ask her to introduce herself to the world at this time.
Thank you so much, sis, for
Yes,
inviting me and having me on your show.
absolutely.
My name is Sandra Braxton, aka your travel chick, the owner and CEO of the Braxton Agency, where we specialize in group travel and international travel.
Hey, hey, international travel. We like that.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, we're going to talk about traveling. We're going to talk about planning and preparing and the precautions and things that need to take place as we travel in the
The
now.
now,
And
exactly.
so, let's talk about prior to the pandemic because that's where we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beauty of the show. We're going to talk about what happens, what was happening prior to, what's happening now, so that we can look forward to what's going to happen in the future. So right before the pandemic hit, how was travel going for you guys?
Listen, I was so busy, I was contemplating hiring help.
Wow.
That's how good the industry was prior to the pandemic. And then, bling, it hit out of nowhere, obviously, to everyone. And we've been at a standstill since the pandemic. But prior to the pandemic, we were all guns blazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. So, like I said, everybody's going, everybody's moving, shaking,
Hmm.
and then all of a sudden everything stops, and you're just like, "Oh my goodness!" Now,
Everything stops.
now, of course, in the beginning, there were a lot of people who were, still kind of like, all right, this is gonna blow over, so just go ahead and book me because because they
Yes.
were like, it's time to go. So, did you get a little bit of that, a little bit of people just saying, well, no, go ahead and book mine anyway, and you guys are kind of like, yeah.
Well, actually, I was one of those people because sis, I
Yeah.
was traveling like every other month.
Wow.
As a travel agent, you need to be able to tell people about the different places that they want to go to. So that means you need to travel as well.
Right.
So I was doing a lot of traveling myself. And when this thing hit, I was like, I am not about to cancel my trip to South Africa. Girl, I was going to South Africa.
Woo.
Yes. And a sister was mad, MAD mad. Because I was looking forward to that trip.
Yeah.
So I was one of those people. I was not advising my clients to cancel because I was thinking, oh, they're going to figure something out. It's
Right.
just a bug, just a virus. We're going to go back to normal because I've never lived through a pandemic.
None of us.
So I didn't know what this thing was going to entail.
Right.
So my thinking was, let's hold off. Let's get some travel insurance. Let's be ready
Right.
because when they open it back up, we going.
Right.
Uh, but it stayed closed.
Right. Right. It was just like, now you mentioned travel insurance. So does that at least guarantee that they get a portion or all of their money back if the trip has to be canceled?
Okay, so even prior to the pandemic, I always advised my clients to get travel insurance because not only is it good for if you have to cancel your trip, but if something happens when you're on your trip, you
Mm,
get sick, you're in another country, you don't know anything about, their medical or whatever. Most travel insurances will pay for you to be medevaced so you
mm.
can come back to the United States to your doctor.
Oh wow.
Yeah, people don't realize that it pays for you to come back. And so travel insurance is invaluable for multiple
Wow.
reasons. So
Mm.
not just for getting your money back. So don't, just think about it, oh, I'm gonna get my money back. But if anything happens while you're away, it makes sure that you're taken care of. But definitely now, since we know
Yeah.
that things can get canceled and we're not in control, basically,
Right. Right.
insurance will cover you. Some insurances, depending on the vendor, depending on where you're going, all of those different things. That's why you need to read your policy and
Mm.
understand the policy.
Okay.
Sometimes they will give you partial payment back and then future credit
Right.
when you travel again.
Okay.
And a lot of that is, I want to make sure you come back.
Right. Right.
So
So they do. So you do the insurance through your personal insurance, or or like you said, there's vendors.
right. There are vendors, different vendors that do insurance. So it really depends on my client, where I'm sending them,
Okay.
what's the best bang for their buck.
Got you.
So I look at all of that. So I mean, that's another reason why you should book with a travel agent.
Clearly, because I had no idea. When I think of insurance, I would have only thought that insurance just make sure that I get my money back if I
Right,
can't go.
right,
You don't really think that much of the medical aspect, and
right,
and that's something that's important when you go into countries. And like I said, I've said in the past that I traveled to Haiti for mission work, and there are not hospitals readily available. So
right.
that's something that would be important for myself and those traveling with me to have that insurance so that, like you said, we
Definitely.
can be what is it?
Medevacs. Mm-hmm.
Medevacs back to the
Mm-hmm.
States. I would have not
Exactly.
known that.
It will
And that's
cover, it will cover that. Mm-hmm.
see that. You learn
So
something every day, y'all, on the How Now
girl,
podcast. You
yes, girl.
learn
Call
something.
me, girl. You need some
Yeah.
information, call me.
Yes. So yeah, like you said, so that's important. Like you said,
Yes,
having that, and now with the pandemic, I'm sure, like you said, that's even more of an invaluable
of a
thing to have.
of a
That
necessity.
it's
Exactly.
just like you said, it's a necessity
It's
to
a
have it to
necessity.
make sure that people are covered and that they're insured. Okay, so like we said, we talked about that insurance and making sure that
Mm-hmm.
they have that done. Okay, with regards to places, what places started opening up a little quicker than others?
Okay, so Mexico never closed.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
a lot of the Caribbean never closed.
Wow.
So there are a lot of places down in the Caribbean, of course, Mexico, where I've been sending my clients now.
Right.
Jamaica is a hot spot right now. Dominican Republic, and like I said, Mexico. So that's where a lot of my clients are going right now. Even though I still advise you to go by what the CDC says, they're still not advising people to go to certain countries.
Right.
Um, in my humble travel agent opinion, if you are vaccinated and you follow precautions,
Hmm.
6 feet, mask up, I say, get ready, start traveling,
Yeah.
get booked for
Right.
sure. Now, Europe, on the other hand, because they're still having outbreaks here and there, they have not yet opened up to United States travelers, but they will be very shortly.
Okay.
So, really, within the next month or so,
Oh
a
wow.
lot of the European countries will be opening up, but you have to have a vaccine. You
Hmm.
have to be vaccinated and show proof of vaccination in
Okay.
order to be let into those countries.
Okay. So those are now, if even with the international travel,
Hmm.
now are they requiring the vaccinations in addition? I mean, well, yeah, in addition to having the COVID test as well.
Okay, so if you have been vaccinated, and some of this is different per country.
Right.
So if you're not working with a travel agent, because your travel agent should know all of this, but if you're not working with a travel agent, definitely check
Right.
the destination that you're going. their COVID restrictions.
Okay.
But for the most part, if you have your COVID vaccination, you're being allowed to come into the country.
Okay.
And then to come back to the United States, you still have to take a COVID test
Mm,
72 hours prior to re-entering the United States
right.
to prove that you didn't catch anything while you were away.
Very good.
And
See,
it
and
has
that's
to has to be negative, right?
yeah, that's good to know because and I say that because I want our listenership to know that, that
Right.
when you are traveling, even though it may be okay, for you to have
Mhm.
your vaccination on this side, when you get over
Right.
to that other country, that they may require you to not only have your vaccination, but to also have that
Have a
COVID test
test.
done 72 hours, and it's at your cost. It's not, here it was free. There
Right.
may be a cost. I know that when we go to travel to Haiti for our mission work in this coming August, that it is required for us to have that test within 72 hours, and
Right.
it is at our cost. If we have
Right.
volunteers that are coming with us, it's at their cost to make sure that they have what they need in order to re-enter the country, because you can miss your flight. You
Yes.
don't have your
Oh,
paperwork
yes.
in order.
I was gonna say some of them will not allow you back on that plane. I mean, their customs are gonna stop you, and you're not gonna be able to get back on the plane. So make sure you have your paperwork and make sure it is valid.
Yes.
But a lot of resorts, like if you're going into an all-inclusive resort somewhere, a
Mhm.
lot of the resorts, part of their marketing is that they have testing on site. They have
Yeah.
COVID testing on site. So
Nice.
that's part of their marketing to get people to come and visit them. They give you the testing on site. It's free. It's included with your reservation. So when you return back to the United States, all of your paperwork is in order.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
wonderful. And that's a wonderful marketing
Oh
piece to
yeah,
have, because people don't want to, if you're not familiar with the country, you won't know where to go. And just
exactly.
like you would bargain shop back home, you would want to try
Yeah.
to make sure that, you're not going to the first person who may just try to be like, oh, it's going to cost you $100 and you're just like, what? And it could be
And
20 bucks
we
down the
know
street.
we know it doesn't matter where you are, you can be price gouged or
Yes.
cheated or scammed
Yes.
if you don't know what you're doing, where you at.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
definitely make
Just like
sure
you
you
said.
you research these places and get the information necessary before you
Right.
do your travel.
Or have your travel agent do it. Hello.
Yes, that's why you hire
Yes.
Sandra Braxton from the Braxton Agency.
Hello. That's right. Because you want to make sure you know
That's
what you're
right.
doing before you get out there, because that's a surefire way to ruin a trip. You can't
Exactly.
get back.
Nobody wants to
You're
go on
losing time.
vacation and
Right.
then, yeah, you're
You have to
stuck
worry about all
somewhere,
of that.
right, on your way
Absolutely.
back and can't get back home. Nobody wants
Absolutely.
that.
Nobody
Mhm.
wants that. Okay, so let's talk about passports, because,
Okay.
with COVID and the delays, and it's interesting because I had to send off for my renewal for my passport. My passport
Hmm.
expires in July, and I knew I was going to be traveling in August. So I've already sent my passport to be renewed,
Good.
because you don't know how long it's going to take.
Right.
So what?
But the crazy thing is, sis, I've heard good things about the return rates right now as far as how quickly it's coming back. I'm not sure why, but I'm not going to complain about it either.
Absolutely. Yes.
But yeah, I still tell people to give it at least 90 days prior to travel,
Yep.
preferably 120, but
Yep.
at least 90 days, preferably prior to travel. Make sure you get your passport application put in.
Yeah, because I did. That's why I did 120 days as well, because
Yep,
I just wanted to be sure. So
be
that's the
sure.
thing. You want to make sure that if you're traveling anytime soon,
Hmm.
and it's going to expire, that you absolutely get that paperwork in, because you don't know if there's going to be delays.
Yep.
It may be moving. They even tell you. And I think they've been really clear, at least with the post office and everything, with telling you, when is a good time to expedite it, if it's necessary for you to expedite it, or is it best to just go ahead and send it, just, express the
Regular
way for them
mail.
to get it in their hands and
Exactly.
begin working on it. And, that's something that's definitely important if you're thinking about traveling. It's all about paperwork now, making sure that you have your stuff in order.
Making
Otherwise,
sure
trip is ruined.
making sure everything is valid. And you just brought up a good point about the expiration date. What a lot of people do not realize, make sure you check if you're going international, make sure you check your passport and look at that expiration date. If it's going to expire 6 months, within 6 months of your travel date, you need to renew that passport
That's good to
because
know.
you may not be let back into the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to get stuck anywhere.
No.
Yes, it was paradise until you stuck there.
Exactly.
you
You
know?
didn't pay for them extra days.
No, no. And when you get back on the other side, your job is not going to pay you for the extra days
Oh,
you're not
that's
there
true.
either.
That's true. Your
Okay.
vacation is not extended.
That's it. That's it. That's not a staycation when you do it that way. It's not the same.
Exactly.
It is not
Exactly.
the same. Are
Yes,
there any
ma'am.
are there any other types of things that people should be considering when they're going on a trip? Like I said, things to pack things in preparation for their trip.
hmm Now, I have a long list of things that I tell my clients to do. So that's why I still say work with a travel agent.
Right.
But one thing that I'm going to bring up now, if you're flying somewhere and you don't like to stand in those long lines, I definitely advise you to become a member of or get pre TSA check.
Yes,
Pre-check,
ma'am.
yeah, from TSA. And
Yes.
then if you travel internationally more than twice a year, also get the global return.
Global return. Writing it
Because
down.
when you're coming back into the country and you're going through customs, that's the pre-check on the other end.
Right.
That's
Pre-check.
exactly what that is. So I would get
Writing
them
it down.
both. So you go quickly through the line going through. Of course, it's another interview, just like they did for the pre-check TSA.
Now, do
The-
you do it on that side or do you do it on this side? You can do all the applications and things on this side, or you
oh
have to
yeah,
do it over there. Okay,
yeah.
okay,
Everything is online, just like you did with the pre-check TSA. And
yeah,
they'll schedule you an appointment for an interview, just like you did with the pre-check
but they
TSA.
do it online.
And yes.
Okay, because the one that I did when I did my TSA
Mhm.
pre-check, I had to go to an actual site
Yes. Now, with COVID,
with
they were
COVID.
doing it online. They may be having people come back into the office now. To
Yeah,
be honest, I'm not absolutely positive.
no, but that's
But
global.
if you're traveling, because you're going to Haiti
Mm-hmm.
soon, you could go ahead and apply now
Mm-hmm.
for the global return. And then when you come back from Haiti, you can let them know I've already put my application in. I would like to have my interview now. They'll interview you right at the airport
Wow,
and
awesome,
get that approved right then and there.
awesome.
Then your next international trip, you zoom. People looking at you like, how's she passing me?
Yes, because those lines,
Are long. Yes,
child,
ma'am.
they
hmm
ain't in no hurry. And so
Exactly.
yeah, and I mean, like
hmm
you said, because we go several times a year, and the head of our foundation goes at least 3 times a year, and he just
Yes,
got his pre-check this
exactly.
right before he went on the last trip. But that's absolutely something good to have. Look, I'm learning all kinds of stuff. I'm learning about the insurance. I'm learning about the global return. That's
Yes,
awesome. Good
yes.
stuff. Good stuff. We need
Yes,
to be
ma'am.
ready. So just like you said, a laundry list of preparation, things that we need to make sure that we have.
hmm
Was there anything that you added, since COVID that you had to add to that list, or was it pretty much the same?
Well, a lot of it was still the same because I've always been one to tell people to take some cleaning stuff with you because I mean everybody don't clean the way you clean. So I take Clorox wipes, I take a microban with me everywhere I go, and I clean that room before I lay my head anywhere.
Right.
As a matter of fact, talking about laying your head, I carry sheets with me when I travel.
Okay.
I don't care what they think.
Right.
But I know my sheets are clean.
Right.
And so I'm switching out the sheets on the bed of the resort, and we're putting our own sheets up there. And then too, I like a certain thread count.
Yeah.
so
Yep.
so
Okay.
so we're sleeping on my sheets, which I know are clean.
Right.
I've wiped that room down with Clorox wipes, and I sprayed it with microban.
Okay.
And so I definitely share that information with my clients.
Right. And that's a wonderful precaution because it's like you said, it's just continuing what they've
Mhm.
already been doing. And you know, and
Exactly.
even if they want to just step it up a notch, you know, like you said, make sure they have gloves, make sure that they have
Right.
hand sanitizer and things like
Right.
that. Now, are they able to carry a small amount of hand sanitizer, or does the microban it have to be like 4 ounces, or do they
Now,
have them
all of that I pack in my luggage that I put
as you
onto
check?
the airport. I
Okay.
mean, onto the airplane.
Okay.
No carry-on. I don't put any of that in my carry-on
Gotcha.
because they changed the rules so much with the carry-on luggage. I'm just be honest with you, I can't keep up. And then each airline is different.
Right.
So I would put it in my luggage that I'm going to check in because you're good with that.
Very
Whatever you put in there, you're good. You know, wrap it up really good, make sure it don't leak.
right.
And and
That's
you'll be good. Yeah, you'll be good to go. But
right.
yeah, I wouldn't advise putting it in your carry-on luggage
Right.
because it's an aerosol can, and then it's liquid. You don't know if they're gonna pull it out. And
Right.
I swear they be using your stuff that they be pulling out them out them carry-on bags. I'm like, girl, give me my hand sanitizer. That smell good. You know,
Okay.
that
Like,
my
it didn't
smell
smell like
good.
alcohol when I put it in here.
I know.
Okay, right. You're like, don't change my stuff out. Don't change it out. But yeah,
Exactly.
just like you said, just
You taking my good stuff,
all right,
girl.
good. Put that in your checked bags. Okay,
Yes.
that makes sense. That makes sense
Yes.
to make that way they can bring as much as they need to make sure that
Right.
you're covering the time that you're there. Now, another
Exactly.
question, since we're talking about the airlines and everything like that, do you recommend a particular airline, since there were some that I know were doing the spaces
Leaving the
between the
yes.
seats and all of those
Okay,
things?
so I try not to put my personal preference on other people, but
Gotcha.
I fly Delta everywhere I go.
Yes.
And so I was thrilled when they were leaving the middle seat open. Because I'm like, that's giving me some space between the
Yes.
next person. I
Yeah.
mean, they're about to change that within the next
Yeah.
couple of weeks,
Yeah.
but they did leave it like that for longer than any other airline.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, so that lets me know a lot about Delta.
Right. Right.
But yeah, so that's my personal preference. Everybody has a personal preference.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
But I mean, yeah, it was one I was leaning on the Delta too when they just because they prolonged that. And so,
yeah.
I mean, as a travel agent, yes,
Mm-hmm.
you do give a little bit of your preference
Yeah,
or things that because you're going to try to make sure that
that
the
they're
experience with them
yes,
is the best. And
yes,
if that's the best choice at the moment, that's fine. If it was
exactly.
Southwest or anybody else or
Mm-hmm.
American or anything, then you would have gone with those. But you're going to,
Exactly.
another reason to have a travel agent
Exactly.
because
Now,
you're
when
going
some
to.
people will say to me, well, I don't mind flying Spirit, I would give them the pros and the cons. And then once I've laid out the pros and the cons, and you still stick with your decision,
Right,
then when something or if something happens, then you
right.
can't hold me responsible.
There you go. Because then you're making an educated decision based
Exactly.
on the information that was given to you. You've given them the
Exactly.
knowledge, like you said, you've given them the pros and the cons. And if they
Mm-hmm.
decide, I
Yep.
still want to do that,
Yep.
I want to pay for everything or
Yep.
whatever, then that's on them. The
Exactly.
liability is not on you. But I mean, it's wonderful to have choices. But as long as you're somebody who knows the business, travel, you've experienced it,
Right.
you can give them the knowledge to make an educated guess. That's with anything. That's with the
Yes.
vaccination. That's with anything. You give people the information and you allow them to make the choice or make the decision based on at least having some knowledge of it. It's
Exactly.
on them.
Exactly.
It's on
Exactly.
them.
Now I want to pivot a little bit about back to what was going on in the pandemic, because you let me say that there was no travel going on during the pandemic. So a girl had to do a little pivoting to figure out how she can get some coins in her pocket. So while I'm on the computer shopping, everybody else on the computer shopping. Thing, why don't I get me some coins by selling some travel stuff? So I opened up a Etsy shop, and I opened up a Shopify site, and I sell some travel essentials. So bathing suits, coveralls, shades. We all got a little cute when we are going to the beach. Passport covers. So I had to figure out another way to bring some income in, keep my business afloat.
Absolutely.
While we're not traveling. So that's what I did during the pandemic, which
I
was,
love it. I love it.
yes.
You beat me to the punch, but that's good, honey. No, there's no word. Look, have your way, okay? You have
Yes.
your way on the How Now show, huh? You do it your way, okay? But yes, that's absolutely right. I mean,
Yes.
that's the thing I was going to ask. Yeah, how did you maneuver in this space? Because yes, if that's what you do, what are
Yes.
some things that you did to kind of get around that? And that's
Exactly.
wonderful. You
It was
take the lemons and you make lemonade.
exactly. You better squeeze them things, squeeze them real tight. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot of us that wasn't making any money. So I'm like, it's got to be a way we can figure out some way to bring some coins in this piece. So I was like, you know what? Everybody's shopping. So let's figure out a way that we could sell some travel things that, because we're all shopping and putting stuff in the closet. Because one day we're going to get out, we're going to get back out here.
That's it. Honey, let me tell you, that Amazon truck was at my house every other day. They was like, did he just park there? Did he just stay there? Did he just stay the night? He might as well.
Okay.
Just go pick up my stuff and come on back. We see you tomorrow. Yeah.
Look, calling you by your first name.
That's
Hey,
Kim. People's out there shopping. So you're right. You're right.
Exactly.
And then you have to try to say, wait a minute now. How can I work? How can I make this work in my favor?
Exactly.
The pandemic has taught us to be very creative.
Yes.
In how we do things, even if it's pamphlets, if it's even materials, we know that you're an author, or at least I know you're an author too. And so hey, you just are saying, hey, how can I monetize this? I know that you also have a Facebook page. So tell us a little bit about that too.
Okay, because you're a member, sis.
Yes, I am.
And I love that Facebook page because it's not just about selling travel.
Right.
I have a passion for travel, which is why I'm a travel agent. Now, nothing against people that want to be a travel agent to make money, because it is money to be made.
Right.
But I feel like you will get a better experience from a travel agent that's in it because they actually love what they do.
That's right.
And so I'm going to tell them how my passion came about. My very first flight, I'm a hometown girl from small town North Carolina. So I never got on an airplane until I left home to go to the military.
Right.
And I went into the Air Force.
Oh, wow.
So we were flying all the time. So once I took that first flight and got over that fear, I ain't stopped since. Sis, it's like airplane, let's go. And so that's me, and that's how I rock and roll.
Right.
So the Facebook page, which is called Educated Melanated with a Passport.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So let
I
them learn it.
share, yes, I share my experiences from places that I've already been.
Right.
I open up the forum to the other educated melanated travelers in the group and allow them to share information from all the places that they've been,
Yes.
and some which have lived internationally and still living internationally. And so I'm learning just like you guys are learning,
Right.
which makes it an awesome experience because we all are. That to me, that's how you learn. You experience travel
That's right.
and you find out about different cultures, and then you share your knowledge with other people. That's learning, and travel is the vehicle that we use to get there.
And that's it. And I think that's the beauty because, there are a lot of places that we've never been, and you want to be able to have,
Mhm.
a way or a resource to be able to tap in and say, okay, well, I've never been there. What can I expect? What can I do? It's
Right.
wonderful to be able to go and explore, but if you kind of have a little bit more of,
An idea, yeah,
yeah,
of what you're gonna, yeah, because that's what I want it to be like. Okay, you guys say I'm going to Jamaica. Anybody's been there? And then everybody start chiming in. Yeah, girl, go to Rick's Cafe. Girl, yeah, go visit this place.
right.
Make sure you eat here. That's what I want because you'll get a better experience, a better travel
Yeah.
experience like that.
Yeah. I say it's
No
funny.
one person has all the answers.
Right.
But when you're sharing with a group, with a
That's it.
family, you can get it.
See, and I love that because I think about I used to travel for business to
Mm-hmm.
Nevada, and it wasn't until my last trip there, and I was getting ready to get on the airplane the next morning, and it was too late that I realized I was right near Lake Tahoe, 30 minutes away.
No.
And I traveled there for years and just went
What?
but I went there for work. So I was working.
He
And
was
then
working.
afterwards, I was like, oh, okay, well, there's not really anything around here. I just go to my hotel. And then somebody said,
Mm.
have you ever been to Lake Tahoe? It's only like 30 minutes away. And I was like, oh,
Oh,
I missed an opportunity, and
sis.
I'm a 70s baby. I used to listen to the little game shows, and they would say,
Yeah.
you win a trip to Lake
Lake
Tahoe,
Tahoe. And
and
we
so
thought that was the biggest deal going, girl.
still going. And so I was like, all this time I was here, and I was here for
Yes.
a whole weeks at a time, and did not
No.
know that
Mm,
30
mm,
minutes
mm.
away from where
Was
I
Lake
was
Tahoe.
was Lake Tahoe, and I
Mm.
never went. And now it's too late.
Oh my
I don't
God.
even go in that
Girl.
area. They don't even have business in that area anymore. And I was like, oh. But just
Mm.
like you said, we miss out if we
Yeah.
don't connect.
Yep.
And if we don't say, hey, I've been
Mm-hmm.
there, and we don't share that knowledge,
Exactly.
we keep, and then, we see your pictures, but we don't see all of the things that you did when you
Mm-hmm.
were wherever you were.
Right.
So it's important to be able to
Yep. To
share that
share that. To
information and
share
let
that.
people know where to go so that, it's not always a bust. I want to go to the places where the food is good, you know,
Yes.
and some of those
Mm-hmm.
things are off the beaten path. And so,
Most of those things are off the beaten path. I'm like, if I go out of town somewhere and I'm eating at a Chili's, you better smack me.
okay.
I don't want to eat at no restaurant that's got the same restaurant right down the street from here. I
Exactly.
might as well stay home.
That's the point, to go
Yes.
someplace new and experience something
Right.
new, taste new things, experience
Exactly.
new things. I mean, I remember going to when I went to Puerto Rico, and
Mm-hmm.
I got on the public bus. I mean, I was
Oh,
hanging on for dear life, but I was like, oh, they was getting
yes.
the bend in them corners, and the streets were tight. But
But
I wanted the experience of riding
yes.
on the bus like I saw the other people do. I
Yes.
wanted to go places where the other people went. Sometimes
Yep.
a little off the beaten path, and you get
Definitely.
to go, and you'll see wonderful experiences through that. But that's
And
also the
strike up a
beauty.
conversation with
Yes.
somebody. Oh man, we have been to some of the most awesome places and doing that. That's how we found this restaurant in Puerto Rico, San Juan. because we stopped this person on the street and was like, we're hungry, but we don't want just a regular. He was like, I know exactly where you want to go. We went down these stairs, around this corner. The best food I've ever had in my entire life. The place was this big,
Uh-huh.
but
This is.
those are the type of places you want to eat at. You
That's
want to
right.
eat where the locals eat
That's right.
because they're eating the good food.
They're eating the authentic food. They're
Exactly.
eating the food that is common to them. That's not been commercialized. It has not been
Exactly.
changed. It's
Mm-hmm.
something that, honey, that's heritage. That's just
Yes.
that's history. That's legacy in every
Yes.
sauce, everything. So I
Exactly.
mean,
Yes.
I love that just that experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Yep.
excited because like I said, things are opening back up again.
Yes.
We're getting back to where where at least we're making the precautions. I love that you
Mm-hmm.
talk about making sure that you have your microban, that you're cleaning and you're sanitizing, you're taking care of yourself,
Right.
while you're going back out there. you're
Mm-hmm.
you're you're finding out and making sure that the places that you're going, whatever their CDC, whatever the qualifications are,
Mm-hmm.
whatever is expected, that you just stay informed.
Right.
I think
Exactly.
that's the biggest thing. And it's not just a matter of being safe, but being informed so that you don't
Right.
get out there and realize that there's an extra step that you needed to take and you don't know. So if you're
Exactly.
going to travel, be smart about it.
Be
Be
smart about
educated
it.
about it if you're educated and melanated. So
There you go, babe. Uh-huh. Get in touch with somebody if you
yes.
don't know, because somebody else knows for sure.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. I think we've covered just about everything. We talked about the planning, making sure that you have
Mm-hmm.
everything that you need, making sure that you're checking with your travel agency,
Yes.
that you're preparing and having everything, and that you're taking those precautions. So if you're doing all those things, then once things open, like you said, then it's a go. It's go time.
I think so. And my advice to everyone is if you're wanting to start back traveling, start looking at things right now. And you could plan I usually plan definitely cruising a year out in advance, but all inclusive resorts you can plan up to maybe 10 months in advance if you know you're going to travel.
Yes.
Right now is a good time to book because the prices are low because everybody hasn't started back traveling yet.
Right.
Once we get back up to 50, 60, 70% travel, those prices are going to go up with
Right.
the volume.
Right.
So if you know you're going to travel somewhere, now is a good time to start looking and booking.
Okay. Now the one thing you said cruises, because I know some people are just like, eh.
Okay.
I was
So
wondering. Look, I have to say, I was like, I'm not getting nobody's water. I'm not.
okay, I'm gonna give you my advice. I have to always preface it with my advice.
Yes.
I'm not advising any of my clients to cruise in 2021. We're in 2021, right?
Yes.
2021. I'm saying wait at least until 2022.
Gotcha.
Because they haven't even really started back getting everything up and running. You want to see it up and running. You want to see them do it a couple of times and figure it out. You don't want to be the guinea pig,
That's right.
and you want to know that everything is running smoothly before you go and spend your money.
Absolutely.
So I'm saying wait to 2022, but you can start looking now
Right.
and seeing what's out there.
That makes
If you
sense.
see a good deal, I say grab the deal up. I mean, I'm just being honest with you about these prices. These are some good prices right now. And so it just like housing, it's a buyer's market.
That's it. That's it. That's it. You got to be in
It's
it to
a
win it. Take
buyer's
some of that little
market.
stimulus money, put a little bit to the side.
Yeah,
Take you a trip.
exactly.
Take
And
you
just
a trip.
plan it out. Plan it out.
Yes. That's
Hmm.
it. That's
But
good.
get out there. But let me say this too, because we've been talking a lot about international travel. One thing I love about living in Atlanta is that we're within driving distance of a lot of awesome places.
Yep.
So if you've been stuck in the house for a year, you just gotta get away, and you're not ready to get on an airplane yet, get in your car, drive a couple of hours away somewhere to a city you've never been to,
Yeah.
and book you a hotel somewhere. Just get away, because there's so many things you can do to experience travel, and it is not always has to be
It can be
internationally.
stateside, just like you
Yeah,
said.
it doesn't always have to be big and glamorous. Travel is a great thing to experience, even if you're going right up the street, if it's
Okay.
something that you've never experienced before.
That's it. That's it.
Mhm.
I'm so glad that you said that because that's true.
Yeah.
Right here in your own backyard, there are many
Yes.
places across this beautiful country that,
Hmm.
that you can go and visit and experience, just like you said, something new, something that you've never done. That's the
Exactly.
excitement of travel, doing something that you haven't done, seeing something that you haven't seen.
Exactly.
That's what it is. It's about the experience and it's about
Mhm.
living in the now. That's what
There
it's
you go,
about
sis. There
about
you
doing
go.
it now. So, hey, I love that. I love that. And I know I said, I know we're running low on time because like I said, we don't want to
Hmm.
go too long.
I know, right?
However, I love, but we could talk all day because you're a girl. So,
Yes.
but what I do want to ask is, what are you doing in the now? I ask all of my guests that. What are you doing in the now?
Yes.
Navigate
So
the coast.
since the pandemic, I purchased a Peloton. Yes, I've become a member of the Peloton community.
Whew.
That bike going to nowhere takes you away from everything.
Okay.
And so I try to get on my Peloton 3 times a week.
Nice.
I also try to read. Oh, Lord, help me.
Hmm.
I'm so bad about the reading thing, Kim. To be a published author, that's bad to
It's
say.
all right. It's all right because after a while, sometimes it depends on the book.
Yeah, that
On
is
the
so
book. If
true.
it grips you,
But
like in the movie, anything, if it grips you, you're
yeah,
in it. If not, you're kind of like, not so much.
I agree. It has to capture me like right
That's right.
away. If it doesn't capture me, my mind starts to wandering.
That's right.
I'm like, oh man, I could be doing this. No, I need to read. So, and then definitely I use the Calm app,
Yes.
so I can calm down at night, because my mind is, like I said, always wandering.
Yes. And that's,
And so that's what I've been doing in the now to
yes.
help me cope with things that's beyond my control.
That's it. That's it. I
Hmm.
think a lot of people have looked into it. They're just looking into what can I do to improve my health? What can I
Right.
do to like you said, calm my mind and center
Hmm.
myself? It's all about getting into that space of coming back to self. And
Yes,
it's been difficult.
it
And this
has.
is long term, and we don't know how long it's going to be. So we need to be finding those ways of creating our peaceful existence, of being able to
Exactly.
cope. How do we do that? What does that look like? And
Hmm.
so that's why I always ask because it looks different for
For
everybody.
everybody, yes,
Everybody has their
yes.
own way,
The
of
way
being able.
what works for you might not work for me.
Right.
So, and that's okay, because
That's right.
we're just different beings.
That's it. That's it, honey. We are uniquely
Hmm.
individually,
Yes,
our own people. We're our own
exactly.
person, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's beauty in everyone. Like I said, all of us are a
Hmm.
mosaic, okay?
There you
Broken
go.
pieces that have been put back together, laced with love, and that's what
Hmm.
we are. We're something different and unique, but beautiful in our own right. So
Right.
I love that. I love that you're doing things to navigate in this space. And like I said, even though we're here now, but we won't always be. But at least we're setting ourselves up, to be the best that we can be. And like you said, travel is part of that. Being able
Yes.
to move again and to be able to
Hmm.
experience things and to have a new outlook that says, maybe I didn't travel before and now that's
I
what I want to
can.
do. I want to do something
Exactly.
different. I want to
Yes.
to take advantage. I don't want to waste time anymore. I don't want to,
Hmm.
life is short. I want to do
Yes.
some things that are adventurous. And it starts with
Exactly.
travel. Okay, so with that, do you have any other parting words for our viewers, our
I
listeners?
just want to thank you so much again, sis, for
Oh,
having me.
my
And I
pleasure.
want the viewers to know, if you need a travel agent, I will be thrilled to be yours. You can reach me at www.thebraxtonagency.com. And you can also call me at 404 904-9472.
Make sure
All
I got
right.
that down. www.thebraxtonagency.com.
BraxtonAgency.com.
And the
Yes.
number is 404-904-9472. Of course, that will
Yes.
be in the description for
Yes.
this episode. So they will be able to reach out so that they can go out,
Yes.
be out, get out,
And
and
get
enjoy
away.
some stuff.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Well, honey, I think
Yes.
that it has been my pleasure, my
Mm-hmm.
true pleasure. Look, my eyes starting to tear up. It has been my true pleasure having you on the show, having you talk about travel, having you talk about all the things that are necessary for us to know so that
Mm-hmm.
we can get back out there and experience some things and live some life and
Mm-hmm.
enjoy this now. And of course, I wish you the best of luck and all that
Same
you
to you,
continue to do,
sis.
honey. And I will be in touch because I need to get out in these streets. I have a birthday coming up.
Oh,
So yes, May
we got to
16th.
celebrate. We got
Oh
to get
yes.
together.
Oh yes, we're gonna get together. We're gonna get
All
together. There's
right,
gonna be
sis.
some umbrellas and some other things involved, but we'll work on
That
that.
that sounds
We'll
like
talk
a
about that
plan to me.
offline.
Thanks
All right, my
again,
son.
sis. Love you so
Yes,
much.
I love you too, honey. And that will conclude this episode of the How Now podcast, where we talk about how to live in the now. And until I see you all the next time, I say peace.
Peace.